Exactly the same. It's just that this one's a little newer. They act the same. They're going to run the same. The difference is we have a tool touch-off probe, and what that does is it allows you to touch the tool off automatically. There's a program in here. You select the program, you select the tool. So in the beginning, we're going to touch every tool off a few times. Just so you know, after this, you only have to touch it off when it breaks. I have had instances where the guy tells me that the customer will be like, it takes my guy 30 or 40 minutes in the morning to get ready. And I'm like, that's impossible. 5 minutes for the spindle warm-up, and you do run a spindle warm-up 5 minutes every day, and then you're kind of ready to go. Well, because I taught him every day, we did spindle warm-up, then we touched every tool off, and then we did a fly cut. He was doing that every day. So,
oh, wow.
But he was, you know what? He was perfect at it. I never heard from him on how to touch off a tool, or never worried about the fly cut. And the fly cut. Also, the fly cut's going to be a little different. It's going to automatically take 10,000 off. All you do is push fly cut. It's going to run, and it's done. You don't lower your tools. You don't have to do anything to the tooling, nothing. It's going to automatically lower everything. That's the difference in positive tool offsets and negative. So people that don't understand, when you touch off a tool, it goes from Z0 to the tabletop. So over there, we're using a negative tool because we're just saying the Z is going, when Z is at home, at the home spot like this, up is plus, down is minus. Okay? So when I'm going down, 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 I get to the tabletop, so then I got that negative number. In here, we're going to use a couple other things to create a positive tool offset. Like I said, I like positive tools. James Elkazarian, and that guy's my friend, so I'm not talking bad about him. But he's so stuck in old school that he could never academically get his people to go to a new school. So I don't want us to take our technology and go backwards where we can kind of go forward. Down the road, when we have more time, we can make that one positive also. Okay? So, but right now, the two differences in the machines are going to be, over here you're going to fly cut and you're ready to cut. You don't have to alter any of your tools, you don't have to alter your square board thickness, nothing. It's going to be automatic. Okay? Fly cut, throw your material on and you start to run. And after this, I'll print off. I do have a lot of notes, FYI stuff. If it doesn't tool change, what is it? If it does, program doesn't run, what does, you know, cause and effect kind of deals. I've got some cheat sheets for you. So later on, I'll get them out and you can just...
We'll mail them.
You'll file them. Because I really feel like we were kind of cheated on time. You know, having that day down, half a day yesterday. I mean, I really would like a whole day with you guys. So we might get it up and running. I'll have you limp along. And then January, I have an install towards Tulsa. So maybe we'll take another day or two. Because I want you guys to be confident. I don't mind you being a little intimidated by it. You're going to be intimidated by that noise. That grinding noise on the ball screen. Yeah. I mean, I'm intimidated by it. I keep thinking it's going to stop on me, but God willing, it's going to keep going. So I would like to do that. We'll get you to limp along. Just cut some stuff so that when I come back, you may have some questions. Now I'm just going to shove a whole bunch of information down your throat, and you're going to just take it like men. Okay? Because that's what we have to work with right now. So the two differences, tool touch-off and doing the fly cut. So I do have a fly cut sheet, and again, I'm going to print it off. So I type these sheets so that you actually can read them, meaning don't roll them up in a ball and keep them in your pocket and kind of guess your way through. Because I found, I'm a very hands-on person, that I like a little bit of reference to say, I don't want to sit here and guess for 5 minutes is my point. Because it's been known to say, when you're sitting there, the longer you're sitting there looking at those buttons, you're not learning anything. But if I read it on the paper and follow it, and I number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that you follow them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 to 3, 2 to 4 doesn't work. Okay? They are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so that you follow them line for line for line. Okay? And they are pretty good. I mean, I have to say a month ago, a guy bought a machine and I couldn't get there. We were on the phone for 6 hours. He was cutting by the end of the 6 hours. I don't even know the guy. He's in Missouri. But he could cut after 6 hours, and I sent him those papers. We followed him. We had a little camera, so I could kind of watch him. But it's that easy, so I don't want anybody to be worried about it. But the sheets are going to help you walk through it. Okay? So, two differences again, and I'm going to say it a lot of times because I don't want you to forget. I don't want you to come over here and do a fly cut and be wondering. I don't want you to lower your tools after they've already been lowered. Okay?
Because automatically after your fly cut, it drops the tool.
Yeah, because when we say positive tool offset, what we have here, I don't know if you guys know much about these things. This is the offset page. This is the work coordinate offset page. And what this does, the work coordinate sets up, when these guys are in their programming, you're looking at the screen like this when they're programming. So this is 0, 0. So if you lay that down, this is 0, 0. This is always the first corner of every sheet. Okay? This is how we acclimate where everything's going to be nested. It looks at this corner. Those numbers are put into here as a work coordinate. Okay? And for some of you guys, I'm going to give you more information that you need, but it's going to come together on why I'm telling you this in a little bit. Okay? So here we have what's called EXT. That's extended work coordinate. And you guys may have never used them. And some people use them because, like I said, they program in the corner 0, 0. So when this lines up and this lines up, that sheet starts there. Well, if you got a bunch of bad material and the edges are kind of crapped up a little bit, you can come into the EXT and say 1/2 inch. So I start cutting a 1/2 inch in, and it'll move everything nominally. You know what I mean? It'll be like everything's going to step in a 1/2 inch or 1 inch. Or 2 inches, or let's say you have one part to cut, and you put some wood up here, but it's crappy. But let's say I don't want to cut it here, I want to cut it in the middle. So if I wanted to cut it right here, and this is 12, 12, I can put 12 in X and 12 in Y. I didn't ask. You guys aren't metric, right?
No.
Oh, thank you. I am so bad about metric. I mean, I can't even, I'd be calculating everything. So 12, 12. I put 12, 12 there. It now just generically moved that whole part to 12 inches. So you can use any kind of scrap you want, no matter what the edges look like. You can move it to wherever you want. So the reason I'm telling you about that, and that's kind of new, is we have what's called the Z. The only thing that will ever go in the Z is the spoil board thickness. And it's a positive number. That's where positive tool offsets come into play. Okay? So when I do a fly cut, let's say it's going to start at 7.5. When I start that fly cut, it's going to automatically go to 7.4. Okay? The program will automatically take it right out of there. So when I touch my tools off, I'm physically setting it up from the tabletop. So that's why I have to somewhere say, oh, where's my spoil board start at? Okay? So the reason what I'm doing is then right here, I'm going to put in my spoil board thickness. So that will now say, oh, part 0 is on top of the spoil board. You don't have to do anything. The only time you're really ever going to change that is if you change the spoil board. And then you put it right back to 0.75. Then you'll do your fly cut from the, you put a new spoil board on, you fly cut twice and twice. Every time you fly cut, it'll automatically lower it down. Because the tools are now referenced from this tabletop, it automatically looks at that number to say, oh, how high do I raise that tool up to start cutting? It automatically does it. It just takes something off of you guys so that...
When you're standing over there for 15 minutes, that's a bit.
At 15, you're good.
I was going to say, more like 45.
Yeah, because I was going to say...
I don't cut them on.
And that's just one or two tools. Let's just say you introduce 8. That is, that's a half a day where you get the paper, and then you come over here and put it in. I'm just going to put it in there. I'm going to say I want to touch off tools 1, 2, 5, and 7. I'm going to select 1, 2, 5, and 7. It's going to touch the first one off, zip up, go over, pick the next one up, come over, go down. I take it down to a little bit above that probe.